panel will look to discover restructuring the education landscape with high-tech tools, technology orchestrating improved pedagogy. Gracing this panel, I would like to invite our moderator, Dr. Carina Ahmed, Principal BB Memorial Public School, Tinsukia. A big round of applause for ma'am, please. Next, we have Jonali Das, Principal Modern English School, Guwahati. A very big round of applause for ma'am, please. Next, we have Simi Nath, Principal Delhi Public School, Kamrup, Guwahati. Can we please put our hands together for ma'am? Dr. Manoj Kumar Choudhury, Principal Kaziranga Academy, Guwahati. Dr. C. Varghese, Founder and Director, Christ Senior Secondary School, Ri-Bhoi. This panel deserves a round of applause because they have been waiting since so long. Can we please have a round of applause? Over to you, ma'am.
A very good afternoon to all the respected members who are here. It's been a very, very enlightening morning as well as an afternoon. It's been great learning, and I really been enjoying all the panel discussions that we've had. Before I really start it off, I would like to thank Elets and all the sponsors for having invited me here to carry out this panel discussion. The topic that has been given is restructuring the education landscape with high-tech tools, technology, orchestrating improved pedagogy. Well, from the morning, we have been witnessing and listening to a number of methods of pedagogy, and we've also, we are quite aware that thanks to the COVID scenario, today each one of us have become quite apt with the technology. Probably 2 years, 3 years back, as one of the previous panelists had said, although it was there, we were quite laid back in our attitude. However, having the COVID situation, each one of us have been forced into this particular scenario. Good or bad, technology has had its impact, and we have understood this from listening to the various speakers. Here, I would like to say that we know that there are a lot of demands in the NEP, and a lot of talks have been coming in as to how the NEP needs to be implemented. The first thing that we need to understand is the pedagogy. And the question that we are here trying to answer is the AI and the other forms of technology that we have been talking about, are they actually going to improve the pedagogy of teaching? Because ultimately, it's all about the learning outcome. And are we actually saying that these tools that AI so efficiently provides would be actually implementable? At the same time, would it be effective in bringing about teaching and learning? Keeping this in mind, I would like to forward a particular theory before I pass on the questions. What I want to say is that in the classroom scenario, most of the time, we find that there are children who are very hesitant to ask questions. I think as teachers, most of you will agree with me that we have had situations when we have taught, And probably we are still at a loss as to why children do not answer when questions are given out. There seems to be a fear to interact. They are not comfortable about answering. Most of the time, probably there is peer pressure. Sometimes there is the feeling that they would be an embarrassment if they answer it wrongly. So these kind of questions, I think, is always in the mind of a child as soon as a question is thrown in the classroom scenario. Now, what I would like to ask is, I think I would like this particular answer to be given by one of our participants here. Dr. Mrs. Simi Nath, Principal DPS, Kamrup, Guwahati, Assam. Ma'am, my question to you is, classroom interactions are now being replaced by online interactive tools like Kahoot, Flipkart, to name a few. My question is, do you think these kind of interactive tools would actually improve the way the children interact in the classrooms? And if anything in that line has actually been, is it implementable, and do you have anything of such kinds being implemented in your schools? Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you so much, ma'am, and very good afternoon, one and all present over here, esteemed guests. And thank you so much, ELET, giving us opportunity for this wonderful program. I personally support 100% technology. Fine. At the latest scenario, whatever I should say that online education or enrollment in online education is increasing. Like online-based or app-based education, like we have many apps that many schools are using also. So online-based education is nowadays increasing, and due to flexibility, due to affordability, due to accessibility, different parts of demographical area also, as well as socio-economic background, whatever the latest scenario or latest report, online education is increasing every corner of the world. As per the latest report, I should share with you that compared to past year, 6.3% has increased that education rate in 2022 compared to 2019. So it's like good number of percentage also that online education is increasing. Now we know that we are also in our each and every school, we are using CBSE, like a lot of apps like Diksha also, e-Pathshala, SWAM, etc., etc. And we are each and every schools also using their or developing their own apps. So as I completely support, that technology, so I believe that to some extent, definitely, we need to use this kind of, technological apps. And government is also has taken a huge measure to implementation through NEP 2020, and ICT is one of the example for that. Through ICT, we can easily have a track of the children progress. And I would like to share a very practical thing that what I believe that definitely, like our earlier speaker, earlier panelist talked about that, traditional school and all. Definitely, I personally believe that we need to maintain, proper equilibrium between traditional methodology and definitely technology. Okay, that there should be a proper balance or proper equilibrium. And then I believe, let me just give one example. 2017, I went to Japan for one educational workshop, and over there, whatever I realized that they are totally skill-based. In fact, the students, like primary or lower grade level, they are totally, completely technological based, and they know what is their vision and what they want to be in their future. It was very clear idea to them. It's, took me to the, Three Idiots, if I give example, it took me to the Rancho school or Funsuk Bangro school. So it was a mesmerizing experience for me, and I learned a lot of things from that particular, though it was a 15 or maybe 20 days workshop, so I learned huge thing in my life. Next is, I personally believe that implementations or implementing technology is not the ultimate. We need to change our mindset, and which is very important because, we know that as we are most 99% from CBSE leaders, we are all sitting over here, because mindset of parents is also totally different. We need to change. We need to, in class up to class 7, we have 5 subjects, compulsory subjects. We have 6 subjects optional. Okay, it's an optional subject, as we all know. Whenever we offer to the students that whether you would like to, or we, motivate students that you need to take. The students have their dream that wanted to be a IT engineer or software engineer, but when the question comes for taking 6 subjects, their parents say that, ma'am, chhod dijiye. Pressure बहुत ज़्यादा, 5th subject is too much. 6th subject don't give them. So this kind of mindset we are facing every day. So we need to change our mindset. We need to motivate parents that definitely traditional method is there, but parallelly there should be tech based or app based technology. We need to introduce, or already it has been introduced in the school we are using, but more and more I think we need to move from traditional method. Definitely it should be a priority, but we need to move to tech-based education, tech educations I should say. And this is my, I think, ma'am, this is my opinion. First, we need to change our mindset, and for that we need to work hard, because Japan is, I think, 50 years ahead. It's not 10 or 15 years, whatever I learned, they're 50 years ahead from us. So I think we need to change our mindset, and definitely I do 100, 200,000% support that all app-based education and technology-based education. And with me, we have our IT head also. Okay, he's sitting also, so we are developing our own app for our school students also. And we are supporting each and everything, like parents through technology also. So I believe first we need to change, and we need to keep equilibrium between, a traditional method of teaching as well as technology. Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you. I think Madam has put this very beautifully, that we again are boiling down to one thing, and that technology is important, but the balance is equally important. And in every scenario in the school lives, as others have also spoken, the emotional and the the other aspects of every child development is very, very important. So we cannot overlook one at the cost of the other. But with changing times, we need to adapt. Otherwise, we would face the same like the extinctions of the dinosaurs. Coming to my next question. Before I put this, most of the time, whenever we are talking about technology being given in schools or being provided, we are talking of learning management systems, which probably we generally talk about tracking students' progress, or maybe attendance, and very rarely we are actually talking about those kind of apps which look into how much a child is progressing, the things that we really need to see, where we are talking about individualized attention, or what kind of customized programs or things we can do to help improve those children who are have certain difficulties in learning, or are not at par with the rest of the students. Because in a classroom which has about 40 students, not everyone are uniform learners. And very often we have a huge task in hands trying to figure out whether the systems that we are coming up with, the methods that we are engaging in, are they actually effective? Have we actually found the problem that the child is facing? So these are some problems that I think in our day-to-day learning and teaching experiences, each of us face. And this is where I think technology has a very, very big role to play. And here is where my next question is to Dr. Varghese. So I would like to ask you, what are the key features that your school has inculcated to keep itself ahead in a technology-driven education? And what are some of the best practices that your school has been implementing? Thank you, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. With your permission, can I stand up? I had been a teacher for 40 years, and I loved teaching. And I am so privileged today and honored and blessed in the midst of such a passionate, enlightened educators from the Northeast. Since ma'am asked me a personalized question, how we are implementing technology-based education in our institution. Just for your information, I was a pioneer in Meghalaya, one of the pioneers to start a private school. I started in 1982 in a rented premises. And just for your information, I extended the work to many parts of Assam and some other parts of the country. Wherever there was no modern education, in the sense that I realized if I can work in the Northeast only because I have the English language. And I found with the English language in the country and abroad, we could do better and travel as well. So I gave a lot of emphasis on English education. That was the need of the day. And the initial school stressed on 3 R's, which we are all familiar: reading, writing, arithmetic. But I was always inquisitive and always thought about alternative ways, because my pursuit of studies in many fields, but basically I love philosophy. And I did my PhD in philosophy. So I try to think of alternative ways, like scientific ways we speak of, or can we have another way of looking at the things. I remembered the history I learned, the teacher telling me when they were explaining the Afghanistanis and those parts of the Western world coming and conquering the northern India and subsequently the rest of India, because they came by horses, skilled, fast, swift, while our Indian rulers had the big elephants. And again, I thought in the many sessions enlightened educationalists were speaking of, storytelling one of the means. So we all of us use this story of the hare and the tortoise. We know hare wins, tortoise wins. Second turn. Then I asked them, could we have another form of thinking about it? Win-win situation. Both win. Crossing the river or going across. So my thinking is this: whether in the ancient days or in my times or in the present day, technology was always there and people won the situations basing on the finest technology available those days. But definitely other human potentialities based not only on technology but on human intelligence. We say of artificial intelligence, it is created by human intelligence. So we need to foster, to develop the different skills of thinking. In philosophy, we call there are so many types of thinking, critical thinking. You can think of all different aspects of thinking. Even if we use artificial intelligence, if our we are not teaching our students how to think the positive aspects of it, the negative aspects of it, we will not walk towards the truth. And we can help our next generation to use the technology wherever it is required, and wherever human intelligence required to overcome the technology, we should be ready for that. And to come to the specific question, to be frank with you all, the technological implementation was very pathetic. Many reasons were there. As I mentioned, I am maybe one of the first in the Northeast, among few others, to start the computer education now school. It was in 1987, with that big board and all that. But you know, sadly to say, 6 months of schools and the university was closed in Shillong because of the agitation, and the training program could not be held by the company offered. The time was over, and we do not know how to use it. Still, it is thrown away. Again, as the time progressed, many who are involved with the technological development came up. So many which you are aware, Educom, Next Education, so many of them. And let's be frank, they come, sell, promise never fulfilled. Our teachers are not trained. We speak of so many big things. Ground reality is completely different, which we have already spoken by many panelists. The basic problems we face in our schools, especially if we are running in a village area or in a developing area, not in the cities. And also if you are catering to the needs of the general public, not so the upper class or the educated class. The total scenario is different. I used to say we have within India or within Assam, we have many islands of Assam, of differentiation in economic conditions, differentiation in educational background, differentiation in the cultural pattern, and again, same culture people, say like, I speak Assamese. Only Assamese people are there, then the mother tongue is possible. But when an institution I have at present, where I have students from all over Northeast India, almost every tribe of the Northeast India, which language will you speak to them? Will you teach them? So again, coming back to technology, it can help. Because slowly, I have seen within 3 months, if they come to us, or later than, less than 6 months, the students, they pick up the English language quite fast. And if we have the support of the technology, definitely it enhances the understanding. Understanding the concepts are more important, and for that we tried many means. The initial technology I used to run to Calcutta, not even available in Guwahati, to teach the Montessori teaching aids. Today, it is on the fingertips. Everything is available in Guwahati as available in Delhi or Calcutta. So, through the journey of my educational endeavors, we tried from time and again different technologies available according to the times, and still we are in a very poor situation because we don't have the right trained personnel, neither for hardware maintenance nor for software intake. All are good in social media. Majority are good in today's social media. And as many of the panelists expressed, it is, we don't know, the parents don't know, they are studying. But the reality is, we need to use the human power God has given to every teacher. As earlier panelists said, God cannot be everywhere send teachers. So teachers can use, we try to use technology, whatever is available according to the times, and we are looking forward to further the technological use And the school curriculum and NEP 2020, I'm sure, is pointing towards that direction, and skill development, whether through technology or hands-on learning, or through other means of instruction and experiences imparted, it will go a long way in having quality education, especially for the Northeast. Thank you. God bless this wonderful sessions.
Thank you very much, sir. I think you have very beautifully highlighted some of the specific problems that are faced by a lot of educators who are, giving education in the remote areas. Today we do have a lot of problems with regards to not just the net issues, but yes, there is a lot of problem with regards to technicality, people to carry out the services once the things have been given. So these are some genuine problems, and probably with more and more technology coming in, more and more edtech companies and competition coming in, these also would get sorted out slowly by slowly. With these words, I would now move on to the next question. There are a lot of technology or different ways in which education is today being talked about, or how it can be delivered is being talked about. There are certain terms that has been common, like immersive reality, artificial intelligence, machine learning, deep learning, etc. So these are some of the things that has been talked about in the previous panel discussions. What I would like to say here is that, yes, some of them are, like immersive reality is something where we are talking about augmented reality, which even in the CBSE, training sessions was carried out, where, to be very honest, when I first saw it, I was quite surprised that there could be something of this kind also being shown. And yes, these are some ways that, as we have been speaking about storytelling and others, I think if those kind of methods could be used for teaching the little ones, especially in the storytelling where you have actually a dinosaur come and sit next to you, I think that would be really lovely. But how much it is actually implementable, I have no idea. So I would like to put my next question is, how can we leverage technology to support teachers and also make an impact simultaneously on students' learning? And my question is to Mrs. Jonali Das. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, Elets, and all the dignitaries sitting over here. From since morning, probably you have heard most of the time technology, technology, technology. This is something which is, we are trying to understand what is this technology? How can we use this technology? Is it going to each classes, each room, each student? Is it helping? Will it help each student? Because we have got many subjects. Now, coming back to this question, as we all are from school, so I would like to focus on school setting. In the school setting, we all know that we have got pre-primary, primary, secondary, senior secondary, higher secondary, and then supporting the higher education. So there are different needs in the different, different segments. How it is going to help the pedagogy? If we talk about AR, if we talk about VR, if we talk about learning analytics, then say suppose many apps which you can very well know. And then those who are CBSE school, you know about Shuffle, you know about Duolingo, you know about Kahoot, you know about Flipgrid. There are so many things in the market. Then which one we should pick and why? I think all determines the learning objective. The question is, what we are going to teach to our children? Is it English? Then what is the learning objective of each class, each subject? Say, for example, we have got 10 chapters in history. I'm coming back to history because I have understood that history is something which you do not get the answer. Why I'm learning Akbar religious policy, or why am I learning Indo-Afghan war, or why am I learning 1857 revolution? Why? This is, after all, 100 years, 600 years history. When we cannot give time to our parents, to our children, when we don't have the time, we always busy with mobile. Most of the time, we are busy with mobile. Because mobile is our another, it's our work tool, we have to. Without it, we can't live. So then why do we need to study history? Now suppose, coming back to that question that Mr. Bhattacharya has said, that anybody can remember who was Akbar, what he did, what was the greatest policy. So after that, what next? What next? The question is what next? And the learning objective. Are we teaching history, or are we teaching any subject? Because we need to teach. Are we teaching any subject or any subject concepts? You see, in every chapter, there are lessons. Every lesson has got a big heading, and under the heading, lots of subtopics. These subtopics carries lots of other knowledge, different topics, so different questions. Now the question is, if we teach, suppose I want to teach Sepoy Mutiny. So I want to use air. So what I have created? I have created the fighting scene. And I have bought fighting scene with the help of one group. And then I have shown, what will happen? What is my target? My target is to arouse curiosity. Fine, the curiosity is done. After that, what next? So the learning target or my learning objective, is it to just arouse the curiosity, or really to know what were the causes of the Sepoy Mutiny, or to know will there be any Sepoy Mutiny in future, or will there be any kind of characters in the government that may lead to Sepoy Mutiny? So what I am trying to find out, what I am trying to teach my children, that is most important, and that determines the digital tool, the digital technology. I try to avoid the technology because I think you are really, really bored by getting the technology. One truth, we cannot leave technology. This is all technology. Secondly, we must use technology. Then what technology? Children are very busy with gaming. So are we support gaming? Can gaming help students to memorize, to understand, to represent, and to write answers better? So my answer to the use of technology or to use of this into the pedagogy is that every principal, every teacher must know what we are expecting from our children. Even when we ask any question, because technology can be used in many parts. I am just talking about teaching and learning. It is about school ERP. All we are using school ERP. That is also technology. We are using assessment, proctored exam, assignment. We are using, these are also technology. We often use technology. So technology is something we use. But then question is how to use, what to use, and what we should get from technology, to the best use of the technology. The point is, if every teacher, every principal will know each subject, each chapter, through their teachers, of course, the learning objective, and that learning objective will definitely determine the tool, and to help the students to bring the curiosity to the subject, motivate the subject, and get the joy of learning, not simply that appearing exam or giving some answers, because giving answers is very easy actually. Trying to get the joy of learning is very tough, that element. If that magic we can do with the help of technology, you don't need most of the time, you don't need many teachers and say again and again, please teach, please teach. You simply need to create the environment. Students will automatically learn. They will learn, and that is what the self-directed learning is. That is what the personalized learning is. And they will self-assess, because there are lots of apps. They can very well download all those apps and they can do. But that magic wand, that magic thing, that what we teach and how we teach. I think I have answered your question. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Madam. And I think from what Madam has just said, we can summarize that whatever technology we use in our schools, what is very important is at the end of the day, what is the thought behind that technology, what would be the impact of it in the learning outcomes of our children. Because ultimately what we are all looking for is that they should be able to become better learners, and not just better learners, but somebody who enjoys learning, which is a very, very important element of any form of learning. As one of the earlier panelists has said, today we seem to have lost the yearn for reading. Children have lost that, that magic of reading, which probably is a very, very, sad thing which is getting in and slowly creeping. So I think as teachers, as educators, it is very, very important that we try and keep this element of joy of learning in our classrooms. Thank you, ma'am. And finally, I have a question for Dr. Manoj Choudhury, sir. We have seen that, from all the talks that we've had, there is an endless list of edtech companies that are breaking every barriers and restrictions within the domains of education. Besides what we get to see, what we, as educators, understand what these companies are doing, like the Byju's and very other companies that have come in, what are the other advantages that technology is fostering for the ecosystem of education? Your thoughts about this?
Thank you. Thank you, ma'am. Good afternoon, esteemed leaders. And since morning, since 9 o'clock, we have been talking about technology, the importance of technology, how it is impacting educational scenario. And one thing is common. Everybody says that we love or we hate technology, but we'll have to stay with it. Without technology, we cannot spend our days, and we cannot think of our future, and we cannot think about our learners also. So, yes, definitely technology is making learning easier. It is empowering the teachers, empowering the learners. This is evident. And just everybody has said about the pros and cons of technology. Just I would like to refer to one of my examples from a personal life. While I was a student of class 9-10, even my father was also headmaster in a government school. So whenever we had some sort of issues in maths or science, my father was arts graduate. So whenever we had issues with maths and science, we used to ask the father, but we could not get the positive response that we expected at that time while solving some issues related to maths or science, because he was an arts graduate. But my daughter now, she is studying in class 11. She is studying science, and she never asks me anything. When she faces any problem in physics or biology or chemistry, she solves it herself because she has got the technology. With the help of technology, instantly she can solve her problems. And this is the blessings that we have with the help of all technological tools. These are available in the market. But what I feel sometimes, while I was a student of class 9 and 10, while we could not simply solve the problems, we used to try it. Once, twice, thrice, we used to try it until and unless it is solved. But nowadays, I have seen my daughter, one speaker was talking about that easy earning, okay. And I am saying about easy learning. Yeah, now I have seen the students have become easy learner. Means they don't want to do hard work. They need everything ready-made. They are spoon-fed. So my question is, does technology doing things easier for them, or it is difficult to face the future? Because future is always challenging. The future they are having, that will be challenging. So with the help of technology, yes, they have gathered knowledge, and you can say they have gathered skill also. But what I feel, they lack this sort of motivation, that die-hard motivation to work hard. In many cases, I might be wrong, but this is my personal experience, and I'm working in a residential school, so I meet the students 24/7, and I see all of them are easy learner. And now, talking about the assessment, that question that is posed by Vatsadi sir, in that question, the students cannot go for rote learning. He or she will have to be practical. And practically, they will have to answer the question. But the question that is asked in our board, like CBSE, I have seen the students just memorize the thing. And they do smart learning nowadays. With the help of technology, you can say with the help of tutors, they learn things only for the exam. Because all the students, all the parents, they're running after grade and marks, I have seen. Because whenever students, suppose in my schools, I think this is the case with all the principal, everybody will agree. Whenever students get less mark in maths, the parents will come, why he has got 97? In other subjects, he is getting 100. Why 97 in maths? But what conception the students have got about the maths, they are not worried about it. They need marks, they need grade. So this is the system we are going through it. I think, yes, technology is good. We need technology to have progress in the coming days. But apart from that, I think this assessment system, the examination system, should have a sense. Dr. Andrew told that we will have to revamp the education system. And yes, I do agree with him that education system, that examination system should be sense. If we want our children to be critical thinker, if we want our children to be problem solver, that system should be sense. I feel so. And one more thing, we are always talking about morality, we are talking about health issues. So with the use of technology, I see the students have become isolated from the mainstream. When in our childhood, what we did, when the guest came, we were very happy. But nowadays I have seen the students, the learners, or my children, they don't come out. They don't interact with the guest. They like to be busy with the technology, the gadget tools, isn't it? And these has got negative impact on their health also, mental health, physical health. So, Dr. Ma'am rightly said in the beginning, so we should always think about the judicious use of technology. This is very, very important. And all the policymakers, they are saying this, yes, we will have to do this, do that. So that implementation part is very, very important. So for policy, we can say anything, but implementation is very, very important. And we should always think about how we can make the students creative with the help of assessment, proper assessment. This is very, very important. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. I think sir has also brought about a very, very important point when he speaks about, learning becoming very easy. And I do agree that nowadays, I think most of us would also agree to this, that children Google away everything, every question, every answer that is required. And this definitely in some way or the other may create certain, degree of problems for the children, because their ability to think, ability to come up with their own answers, own ideas is slowly getting hampered because it's becoming too easy. So technology, as I could say, has its very big advantages, but at the same time, if not judiciously used, could create a lot of other problems which will come in. So I think a healthy balance is, again, very, very important with this. I would like a quick summary, ma'am, if you have any concluding remarks.
If I conclude, definitely, again and again, I would like to say that there should be equilibrium between, our traditional teaching and technology, definitely. And whatever sir said, I completely agree with sir that assessment also need to be changed. And our education system, definitely, NEP 2020, definitely, it's a lot of things now we are going to get and we are going to implement in our school. And definitely, we look forward a better and better opportunities. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Thank you, madam. Sir, if you would.
Again, if I summarize, I would say the old word we use for education, holistic education, we need to use technology, use human resources, use sports and games, use whatever traditional we have been using, enhance it by the help of the technology. Thank you.
Let us prepare our children to see the things that we can imagine. Let us prepare our children to listen and to hear that we have not spoken through the use of technology. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Sir.
Yeah, my last remark is that I think that the use of technology should be guided. And for that, I think parenting is very, very important. We should coach the parents, because we have seen many parents are not aware what students are doing at home with the use of technology. One speaker has already said that, yeah, my son is studying, okay, he is inside the room using the phone. So what he is doing in reality, so that is a big question. So that parenting is very, very important, and technology should be guided, I feel so. Yeah, in case of higher education, it's a different scenario, but in case of school children, it should be guided. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you all the panelists for your very wonderful insights into this particular topic. And I thank all the members for listening with so much of patience to the last session. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. It was indeed a summary of our event. So I would now request Garyasi Datta, Resident Trustee, Assam Downtown University, to please come on the stage and give memento to our panelists. A big round of applause for ma'am, please. First, we have Dr. Carina Ahmed, Principal, BV Memorial Public School. A huge round of applause for ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. Jonali Das, Principal, Modern English School, Guwahati. A big round of applause for ma'am, please. Next, we have Simi Nath, Principal, Delhi Public School, Kamrup. Can we have a round of applause? Thank you, ma'am. Next, we have Dr. Manoj Kumar Choudhury, Principal, Kaziranga Academy. A big round of applause for sir, please. Thank you, sir. Dr. C. Varghese, Founder and Director, Christ Senior Secondary School, Ri-Bhoi. A big round of applause for sir. Can we have a group picture with the memento and magazine, please?